Unmute. All right, I think we're live. Hello and welcome to YouTube subscribers live stream number 4. And tonight we're going to kind of step out of the normal PK stuff that we usually do, and we're going to dive into the paranormal, including some ghost sightings and something I consider one of the strangest things in the world, ectoplasma. You ever heard of that? That stuff is crazy. So we're going to take a look at that kind of stuff. And I have a feeling if you're into my channel, PK, you're kind of already into the fringe part of YouTube. So this won't be too far out of the norm for you. And this kind of idea came from Ricky, a.k.a. Mad Cat Sphere, who I see backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on the stream. Hey, Ricky, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Good deal. What have you been up to?
No, just doing the same thing, just practicing and going through life and doing the on the TikTok stream. I've been doing that pretty steadily.
The live TK on TikTok?
Yeah.
Nice. Good deal. So I've got the old Eggly wheel out, and I've been messing with that for a few days.
Yeah.
And putting a video together. I'll be posting that very soon. Probably, I don't know. I thought about doing it on the winter solstice, so the 21st maybe or something around there. Looking forward to sharing that. And I'll probably make one more video. Can you hear me okay? I had some microphone troubles last week or last month.
I can hear you real loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, I got the Yeti hooked up. It wasn't picking up last time, so
yeah.
Hopefully we got a little better sound. I apologize for last live stream's audio wasn't that great. Yeah, I'm going to be messing with the Eggly wheel. I'll probably make a couple videos of that. And then I'm going to dive back into the remote viewing. I was kind of starting to get a little bit of success with that. I'd like to get a little further in it. Maybe I could have some insight and we could maybe bring that topic back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the chat, see if anybody, oh, hey, we got some people watching. 9 people watching. Thank you so much. Willow, hello. So glad to have you. E.T. God. He says, I have a lot of experience with poltergeists. Oh, sweet. If you'd like to come on and talk about it, we'd love to hear from you. And anybody else who has any experience with ghosts, I have a couple little things. I personally have never seen a ghost, but I have some experience with ghosts, and I'll be sharing that with you later. What about you, Ricky? You ever seen a ghost?
No, but I've had some weird things like happening here and there once in a while. You can't explain.
Right. Yeah. Like stuff moving and whatnot, or
hearing sounds outside and stuff like that. Like hearing sounds in the house sometimes.
Right. Shadow figures or what have you. Yep. Yeah. I've seen some pretty weird stuff too. We'll get into that later. I think we're going to take a look at a couple of these videos that you suggested, and we'll just kind of go from there. And feel free to comment. I don't think there's any reason to keep the audio going, so we can just talk right over the top of it.
Yeah.
Let me find the screen here.
Those videos that I sent you are they're very interesting. They're very cool.
Yeah, I'm going with the last 2, and if we have time, we'll watch the first 2 that you had. But I thought this one was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to think of that. Look at that pillow just jumping off the couch. What the hey? Let me make that full screen. Does that look all right on StreamYard?
Yes, it does.
You can see that. And look at that. What the heck is that about?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of this stuff could probably be done with video editing and stuff, but there's some pretty convincing footage, particularly on this very first one we're watching here. There's a restaurant in Marceline, a town nearby where I live, that has all kinds of weird things happen in it. And there's been like 3 different owners go through there. And they all say, like, they'll come in one morning and there'll be dishes thrown on the floor and broken, and no one can explain this. Now, this is one of the freakiest ones. This kind of gave me chills watching this. You can tell that girl is genuinely scared. Oh, there's a longer clip of that somewhere.
It's in the other videos, I think, or something like that. Or maybe it's later on.
But yeah, they even pile the chairs up in front of the door when she tries to leave and stuff.
Yeah, that's a little creepy one.
It's weird. This kind of seems like it should be like an October
Yeah, I know.
uploaded. But in reality, we're about as close to, if you live in the northern hemisphere, we're about as close to the season of death as it gets. Like the 21st is
Hmm.
the sun is the furthest away from us as possible. That one's trippy too. Pulling
Yeah,
the blankets off, dude. I would be so out of there. Whoa, what was that?
yeah. And so something flew ran by or something.
That's
Uh,
more what I picture ghosts as, sort of light beings or something.
yeah.
That was weird. What's this Tawo? Is that something I did? I get that off of there. How do I get rid of that?
Oh
Oh,
no,
I
that's
stand
like an automatic thing on the video.
Okay.
It comes up by itself.
Okay.
But
This must be the one that had the longer footage because I was thinking that was a little bit longer video.
hmm
Bear with me. We'll go to number 2. It's pretty good too.
and that's the thing too is that like this is what we're doing like with psychokinesis telekinesis that we're using like the spiritual energy, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty vague term, spiritual energy, but yeah, I
Yeah,
think there is some connection. We definitely have a physical world
yeah,
and we definitely have a spiritual world, and
yeah,
all this weird stuff is like the connection in between. And
yeah.
that's
That's a better expansion.
it's kind of abnormal. It's not normal for the spirit world and it's not normal for the physical world. So
Yeah,
it's definitely abnormal.
yeah,
That's creepy. Sometimes old furniture just gives me the creeps looking at it. Oh yeah, you could see like a mist figure go through there.
yeah, yeah. You can see that.
That is so wild.
And it looks like an old house too.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff. That's just creepy stuff right there.
Yeah, unless someone's smoking under.
Right. Yeah, it does kind of look like smoke, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's the way that the ghosts, the apparitions look on. They look kind of like misty.
Yeah,
Some,
I think so. That's what I picture anyway. Very trippy. What we got now?
ghost dad, he said.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Watch. This guy comes from out of nowhere and saves this girl's life. Whoa.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Like flash.
Hmm.
And the girl kind of seems like she's kind of in shock or something. She's like, what the heck?
Yeah, like something just came zoom by.
Very trippy stuff. I like it. I like all
Yeah,
things strange.
yeah,
It's kind of what got me into telekinesis a little bit,
yeah,
Something out of the norm. It gets old seeing the same old stuff all the time. It's nice to be able to stretch the bounds of your imagination and keep an open mind. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah, I entitled this one Weird World, and I think we'll throw one of these in here every so often just to kind of give us a little break from the PK talk,
hmm
see what kind of feedback we get. There's all kinds of weird stuff that we could look into. We could definitely add Bigfoot to this agenda, and
hmm
aliens and reincarnation, and I mean, the list goes on and on. All kinds of cool stuff we could be exploring rather than just PK.
hmm
That was creepy. I couldn't really tell what that is.
It looks like it's a spirit coming out of the woods.
Ooh, yeah.
What what I've noticed too about like have you seen pictures of spirits and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah,
Alleged
like
pictures, yeah.
yeah, because like sometimes when I see like on Google or they have some videos of them and they look like the spirits look like they're blended in with the foreground and background. Like they look very weird, like kind of disjointed.
Yep.
And I
Yeah, I
don't know
like
what
that.
that is.
Here we go. Here's the full footage of this one. Watch this. This is totally creepy, man. I'd have probably reacted about the same way. I saw that chair move on its own. Be like, what the
Yeah. And that's a forceful push there.
You ain't kidding. Look at all that. Tables sliding the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't look like it's fake because the way she looks like she's scared as hell.
Hell, she actually fainted. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that one's legit for sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that is or why that happened. Okay, here's big number 1. Man attacked by ghost in hallway. dang. Oh, look, and it's dragging him
Oh yeah.
and then just disappears.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a genuine reaction. Get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see him coming a little bit, the spirit, and then it
Yeah. Just kind of like as it materializes.
materializes.
And he's being driven by a shadow figure. That is straight up horror right there, man.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
so
crazy.
scary. Woo, doggies.
Get the hell
I
out
don't
of
know what to
there.
think about that.
Get out of there.
That was trippy. That was a good share, man. Good find.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Yeah.
we'll look at a couple more of those too.
Yeah.
So to share one of my ghost stories with you.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2004, I used to run a tavern. It's called the Friendly Taverns in Chillicothe, Missouri. Really old building. I mean, built like in the early 1900s. And it'd been a tavern from the onset since the time it was built. And I'd seen pictures, or I'd seen a picture anyway, of that bar full of people back in its roaring 20s. And the girls were all wearing, the big hats with feathers and pearls and beads and flashy dress. I mean, they dressed really elaborate back in those days in the 20s. And the guys were all looked something like straight out of a Western cowboy movie or something,
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool seeing that and knowing the bar had that kind of history. And to make a long story short, I used to go in and open up in the mornings, and I'd have to empty out all the money from the pool tables and clean up and get everything ready for the day. And one day I had my daughter with me. She was 4 years old. And we opened the door. And as I opened the door, the bathroom door in the back slammed. Now, I assumed that was probably some kind of vacuum for me opening the door or what have you. But I walked on in, and my daughter walked in, and she headed straight back towards the bathroom. And I said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "I want to talk to the lady that went into the bathroom." I said, "Hold up. I don't think there's anybody here. Let me go check." So I went and looked, and then there's nobody in the bathrooms or whatever. But she didn't believe me. She had to go in and look herself. She said, "I saw her go in." So she walked in and came back and said, "I don't know where she went." I said, "Well, what'd she look like?" She said, "Well, she had a real pretty hat. It had the long feather thing on it. And I wanted to see if I could have some of those be like she described these ladies from the picture." I'm like, oh my gosh. And I believe that's true. I think children can see things that we can't see.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think
Well,
we
man,
lose our ability to see that kind of stuff?
yeah, I think so. But like the children, they have like an unjudgmental kind of perception. They're born with it,
Yep.
and so they don't think about things. They just like it's just like similar to like cats and dogs. Like they're able to see spirits too. And like animals and children, they have that perception. But then when we get older, something happens. Like we get jaded or something. Like the logical mind works too much, and we stop that.
Yeah, I think they kind of teach us out of it with
Mhm.
logic, quote
Yeah.
unquote logic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Willow Pillow says, "I'm pretty sure when my father passed away, he figured out how to play with the lights." Ooh, so you saw some light flickering after your father passed, I assume? That's trippy. Synergistic RED says humans will turn dogs into the next slave race. LOL.
Oh.
Joanna Maynard says, "I've only seen things move during certain Lakota ceremonies." Oh, neat. That's cool. The Cecil Hotel in LA. I assume that's haunted. I don't know anything about that. What's the best way to meditate and to increase psychokinesis abilities? How dare you? We are not talking about psychokinesis tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Truth seeker. I think it varies for everyone. I like the transcendental meditation, just kind of a no thought, no movement, no sensation meditation. That's the one I use prior to PK because my primary goal is just slowing down those brain waves. I found when your energy's high and your brain waves are low, that's when TK seems to work the best. So I use transcendental meditation, but there are no rules. It's hard to think about nothing. So one thing I used to do is I would envision a symbol. The one you see on the screen right now is the one I used a lot, the flower of life. And I would just try to picture one thing because focusing on one thing is about as close to focusing on nothing as you can get. So if you can't keep your mind and your thoughts at bay, focus on one image or one thought or a symbol, a mandala or something, anything that keeps your mind focused on one thing.
Yeah.
Willis says, I think children are closer to spirit because they are less programmed and have less buildup of toxins in the body, fluoride, etc. Couldn't agree more. Straight up.
Yeah.
So another, this was sort of more of like a poltergeist thing. I used to play in a band, and one time we stayed uh, at my guitar player's house, and him and his wife, there were several of us there, like 5 of us. Everybody who was in the band was staying there, and our wives. And he said, I heard his wife asking him, should we tell him about the kitchen stuff? He's like, no, no, no. And then, of course, everybody, well, what about the kitchen stuff? What's the kitchen stuff? So he says, seems like every night around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you'll hear dishes clanging around, like somebody's making something or cleaning, washing dishes or doing something. And we all got a big belly laugh out of it. Like, yeah, whatever. Sure. And sure enough, I was sleeping on a couch, and my wife was sleeping on a couch next to me. And sure enough, about a little after 3 a.m., this big glass bowl thing that was on the table ended up on the floor, and it was like one of them bong, wah, 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 wah. You know how stuff wobbles as it's trying to settle. Oh my gosh, every hair on my body stood up, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
My wife's like, go check it out, go check it out. And curiosity did get the best of me. And I jumped up and flipped the light on. There's nothing. There's just a bowl on the floor. There's nothing there to see. But needless to say, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I was like, holy cow, this guy was not kidding. Or he pulled a really good prank on us. But he'd had to come through the living room where we were to get to the kitchen. So I don't know. That's inexplicable and remains to this day.
Yeah. And then plus it would have broken if it flew over like that, huh? Or maybe it did or something.
I don't know. It was pretty thick, heavy glass. It might not break. It sure made a thud and a heck of a sound, enough to wake us all up,
Oh,
and last but not least, this isn't really a ghost story, but this is a sort of an afterlife thing. My father had a colonoscopy, and it was pretty life-threatening. So we had the whole family there. I'm from a family of 7. And we were all there in various different places while he was having surgery. And he died for, I think, a little over 2 minutes. He was clinically dead, and they resuscitated him. And he said while he was out of body or whatever, he said he became a sphere, like a bubble, and he couldn't figure out how to move. He could see in a 360 without turning his head. He said, I could see everything around me, just couldn't figure out how to move. And finally, he figured out by focusing on where you want to be is how you move. And he went through walls. He said he went through people. He described what I and my all 6 other siblings were doing. Like Barbara was reading this book. You and Creed were playing this game. Charles was on the phone. George was outside smoking. He told us what all of us were doing while he was dead. Wow. My dad was a man of very few words. He never told any tall tales. And when he told me that, I believe he said, when you die, it's definitely not the end. So I think we do enter into the spirit realm, and maybe ghosts are just a little confused on how to get out of the physical realm and into the spiritual realm,
Yeah.
Some people say go towards the light. Some people, say that's a trick to reincarnation. And some people say your soul exits the sun and it gets recycled through the moon. So nobody really knows, or no one alive really knows, I guess, but it is pretty odd. I had a sister pass away just a couple of weeks ago, and every once in a while I will just get like, I'll walk through the room and I'll feel like a cool area in the room, and I immediately she pops into my mind and just makes me wonder if she's not kind of in that limbo thing, kind of maybe we spend a few days on Earth before we move on or something. Who knows? I think it's all fascinating. And I can't write ghosts off as definitely not true, but like I said, I don't have any personal firsthand experience with ghosts. But I have enough. I've seen enough to know that there is something besides just the physical realm here on Earth.
Yeah, and plus you practice psychokinesis, so that's another indication too. We both practice it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something odd about practicing telekinesis. It seems like animals are attracted to that. Like my dog always seems to like, it can be in there sleeping and I'll start doing a little TK and she'll come in and lay down here beside me. Like they like it, I think.
Yeah. It's true, because when I practice near my like in the living room, my cat comes around and watches me and just kind of like sits next to me and stares at it.
Isn't that
Stares at
odd?
what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they like the energy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we can't quite detect.
They can see and feel something, huh?
Say again, I'm sorry.
They can see and feel something there, huh?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Truth Seeker says, my father was in several car accidents over 10 years ago and could see his body while the doctors were working on him. Very real stuff. Yeah, you hear lots and lots of that. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a little bit that's kind of comforting, that when we die, we know it's not over. This body is truly just an avatar. It's a temporary residence in this body.
Yeah.
So some people find ghosts scary. I find them rather appealing. I think it's nice to know that life goes on. I wouldn't want to be stuck in the physical realm while being in a spiritual body. I don't think that would be.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work out, But
Yeah.
certainly cool being a spirit inside of a physical body in this realm. I have to
Mm-hmm.
say I enjoy that. I mean, there's ups and downs, pros and cons to everything, but yeah, that's definitely very cool.
Oh yeah.
So unless there's more about ghosts, I think we might go ahead and move on. Oh yeah, I was on TV. So I don't watch a lot of TV, but a friend of mine, online friend, gosh darn, I should have wrote down his name, messaged me and said that, hey, he's minding his own business, thumbing through TV, looking for something to watch, and he clicks on this documentary, and there's his boy Trebor 7, he says. And it was on Tubi television. I'll go ahead and share a little bit of it. We won't watch the whole thing, but I'll share a little bit of it here. And I think it's kind of cool too. Years ago, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, I think 3 or 4 different people contacted me asking permission to use my videos in their documentaries. One was from the UK, something to do about it was global something or another. And I think these guys might have been one of them, Proof. And anyway, if anyone has any desire to use any of my videos at any time, go right ahead. I don't care. That's why I put them out there. I want as many people to see them as possible. I'm trying to spread awareness, not make money. So you don't have to worry about me striking you or doing anything like that. You're more than welcome to use them. But I thought that was cool. These guys were doing a little bit of everything. Oh, there's me. Why are they doing that? Look at that. That would be cool. Just stumbled onto it accidentally. But they're not really talking about PK on when they're using my clips anyway. They're talking about ESP. And if you haven't seen it, I've got an ESP demonstration and some tutorials on there. Had a lot of good feedback, people figuring out how to do ESP cards, which is really fun. And it's something a guy can do by himself to practice, which is important. It's hard to practice psychic abilities in a group situation, or it is for me anyway. And those little Zinner cards are a great way to practice, man. And once you get a few of them, it gets you fired up and you'll want to try again. One trick I learned about doing any psychic abilities is to kind of keep it short, because your subconscious mind will kind of get bored with things. So it's better to do several 10-minute sessions rather than one 30-minute session or what have you. So what I do, I would go in and just hit the cards. And when I was getting, 3 or 4 or 5 out of 10, I knew I was on, and I would just keep going. And when it wore down, I would stop, give it a break, come back to it. And that always seemed to help. So a little advice there. But anyway, that's what they're going to highlight in this. I don't like this because you can't really see the timestamp. I know. Here we go. So I'm going to shut up and hold this.
It's approved, though. Something where accuracy is more quantifiable, more black and white. One man, named Robert, or Trebor 7, as he's known on YouTube, decided to test his own psychic abilities using a deck of Zenner cards. Now, this isn't a magic deck. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Designed in the 1930s by perceptual psychologist Carl Zenner, these cards are used exclusively to test for ESP. Instead of spades, diamonds, hearts, and clubs, the face of a Zenner card will show one of 5 different symbols: a hollow circle, a plus sign, 3 vertical wavy lines, a hollow square, or a hollow 5-pointed star. In an ESP test, the experimenter draws a single card without showing the test subject. and the test subject must guess the symbol on the card. In this video, Robert draws a card and attempts to match it without looking to its mate in the cards that are displayed for the camera. As you can see, Robert is not always correct, but he continues to move through the cards as he senses the shapes and the pile they should be placed in. This time he's correct, so to limit the possibility of Robert seeing the cards in any way, he ups the ante and blindfolds himself while finishing the remainder of the deck. Using only his intuition to guide him, he continues to match the symbols on the Zener cards he pulls to the ones set up in front of the camera. But does he see enough of the symbols correctly to indicate ESP? Now, if these cards were picked by random chance, the average would be to get 20% correct with no psychic ability whatsoever. But astoundingly, Robert gets 24 out of 35, or almost 70% of the Zener card's symbols correct, meaning he passes the test accuracy 3 times that of random guesses. Of course, this isn't a conclusive test, and a self-submitted video isn't exactly irrefutable. It's important to keep in mind, though, that clairvoyance, by its very nature, is difficult to prove. And this test isn't the final word on the matter.
Sorry, I was muted. I would definitely agree with that. That's definitely not the best proof in the world. You know, doing it yourself is really the only way to do it. And by the way, to this day, that was still the best Zener card reading I've ever done. It's usually just the opposite. I usually get most of my best moves on practice, which I don't record my practice sessions. I'll get a lot of good moves and think, oh, I should just record everything I do. But gosh, if you know how many hours of failed footage I've got on my hard drive, I've got plenty of that. Willow says my dog loves it she enjoys the meditative energy, especially heart-focused practices. Yeah, I can believe that. There's a video of a monk meditating and a kitten crawls into his lap, says Donut. True Seeker says, I found that could be busting. Oh, cloud busting. I misread that. I found that cloud busting is one of the easiest abilities to achieve. Why is this so easy while the other abilities seem to be a bit harder? I think it's because the clouds are almost in ether form already. And the ether is I think that's the medium that we communicate through or send energy through. And that's true. Yeah. Clouds are very much like Ormus too. Very subjective to our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Yeah. If you've never tried cloud busting, try it. You know, the best situation for cloud busting is when there's a day and there's just like lots of little poofy clouds where you can just pick one and there's other clouds around it about the same size. So you can kind of tell that, hey, you actually did erase that one and the ones around it are still there. Yeah, I've done lots of cloud busting. That's something my daughter was really good at too. She was better at it than I am. This is kind of interesting. The same documentary. This was the Sean McNamara. Yeah. And he's got some pretty cool stuff. I think let's give his a listen.
Abilities. After struggling with physical ailments for years, he believes he's finally gotten to the point where he can use energy to manipulate objects. In this clip, Sean demonstrates with a few light bulbs the basic difference between physical and metaphysical phenomena. He tosses a few light bulbs on the ground to show how easily they break. Sean then attempts to toss a light bulb on the ground without breaking it by transferring his chi energy into it. He gathers himself, focuses on the bulb, and something changes.
What the?
Unbelievably, the bulb bounces back at Sean instead of breaking when it hits the ground. But what was different? Sean claims that when he focuses intently on creating a protective shield around the bulb, it bounces.
That's cool.
Can Sean actually move something using just his mind? The piece of tin foil is placed under glass and is balanced on the head of a pin. The glass is so no wind can affect the foil. Sean will try to move the foil using only his mind.
So when I took my exploration of energy outside of my body and into the outer world, I wanted to see if I could move an object out there. But I really wanted to make sure I wasn't fooling myself. So I chose something I chose a piece of tinfoil balanced on a needle, but I chose to put a glass container over it because I didn't want to think that maybe I was blowing on it or the wind in the room was moving it. And I also didn't want to accidentally move it by heating up the air inside the container by touching the glass.
Without touching the glass, Sean meditates on the foil as he performs deep breathing exercises. Watch what happens. The foil begins to move. Sean adjusts, and the foil moves in the opposite direction. To make things more difficult, Sean places 3 different types of metals in the glass container: gold, copper, and silver. Each metal has a different weight and can be affected differently by his energy. He stands a foot away, and remarkably, each metal object moves independently of the others.
And we can either change our world by becoming more loving people, more connected people, or we can continue damaging the world by believing that we're separate, that we're disconnected, and that nothing really matters.
Sean's great. If you've never been to Sean's channel, it's definitely worth the time to go over there. I also noticed that he has an Eggly Wheel video. I watched part of his, and that's where I got most of my information about the Eggly Wheel. It comes with an 83-page book, and I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it probably tomorrow night or something, and probably make another video this upcoming week to share that. But yeah, Sean is awesome. He wrote a couple books. I think he mentioned me in his first book, and I've spoke to him on Skype a couple times, and I've got a link to his website on telekinesisschool.com. And yeah, he's one of the few people, him and Mad Cat, few PK practitioners I can really vouch for. I think they're legit and have good intentions, and they're trying to help people. Yeah, good call, Willow Pillow. Everybody hit that like button if you would, please. That really helps promote these live streams, and we're doing this out of the kindness of our heart, our own free time, just sharing it with you. And we're happy to have a community in the Psi world. And you giving us a thumbs up doesn't cost you anything. It only takes a second. Let's hit them, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go ahead and venture into one of, if not the weirdest thing I've ever come across, and it's called ectoplasma. Have you heard of this, Ricky?
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I never seen any videos about it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird stuff, and most of this stuff is images. And real quick, before we start sharing the video, let me just describe. This is kind of the mainstream description of ectoplasma. Nobel Prize winner Charles Rickett coined the word ectoplasm to describe what he witnessed during a seance. The substance began as a vapor that slowly materialized as a wet, gooey substance that eventually took the form of a gauzy, like gauze, like medical gauze type of material. The ectoplasma often left a watery trail along the floor. So that kind of sounds like something from the spirit world trying to materialize using whatever it can find with inside our body. And it's trippy, man. I honestly think it's quite possibly the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And let me pull it up here, and I've got there's not a lot of stuff on it out there, but I'm going to share what the best clips I found, just a couple little clips here. So let's take a look at some ectoplasma. Is that screen showing? Yes, there it is. Hit play. There's no audio, so feel free to talk over the top of it. Like I said, most of this is images, but pretty freaky stuff. And it's usually coming out of an orifice, somebody's mouth, somebody's nose, somebody's ear.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Some of those, you zoom into them, and there's like faces and stuff inside the gauze-like material. Once it finally manifests into its final form, which is that gauze-looking stuff, there's usually, like, you can see words. Like there's an image in that one there on the left. You can kind of see. And a couple of them are very clear, where you can see well enough to recognize the person even. Look at that. These are usually, from mediums, people, psychic mediums. And the people are usually trying to contact a dead relative or someone that's passed on. And I think this is the only way. There, that one right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Now
that's
that,
very weird.
I mean, obviously it looks like it could be fake, but if
Yeah,
not, hands down the weirdest thing in the world,
yeah.
in my opinion.
It looks like coming out her nose too, huh?
Yeah, that's where, yeah, coming out of her nose and then manifesting into that thing. Now, I don't know why all these seem to be, ooh, that's scary. I don't know why all these seem to be old timey stuff. Like, are there no new occurrences of this? You know, I'd like to see something a little more modern, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, it's very cool. Let's skip here. I want to skip that mumbo jumbo. Look at that one. Almost look like he's blowing smoke out or something, but you can see it's trying to materialize into something.
Yeah, that one looks like really trippy.
Yeah, that is totally wild. Look at that. I mean, it almost looks like a silk handkerchief sometimes, you know, like,
Yeah, and the way that people look, the way they look when it's coming out they look very strange.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's legit. I think there's at least some truth behind it. Maybe it's not all true, but what the heck? Look at that. That guy was like draped in it. So trippy. This guy's making a whole tablecloth.
I know.
What the heck? And I also noticed what few documentaries there are about it. They're all in Spanish. So maybe this is something that
Yeah.
happened in that region more so than in the States. But nonetheless, you have to admit that's got to be the creepiest thing
Hmm.
to ever manifest in this realm. Look at that one. That one looks like it's made of light or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Could be an exposure thing, but who knows?
Contour.
Yeah, do we have any Spanish-speaking watchers? What's that mean? Oh, I haven't been watching the chat. Let's see if anybody's saying anything. Okay, no. Everybody, the ectoplasm has left everyone speechless.
Yeah.
Remarkably so. Here, let's skip all this. Maybe we got some more. It
Yep.
looks like that's about the end of the images, but I got one more clip for us. And then, Ricky, you had a demonstration clip we're going to share tonight too. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. It depends when you want to share it.
Yeah, as soon as we get through the wild world of ectoplasma, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
There's the last one. This one had several good videos. Do you have some music playing in the background or something, Richie?
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can get it down. Sorry about that. I didn't know.
Let's go. Well, it only shows up whenever you start speaking, but
Oh.
that means StreamYard's doing a good job of cutting out that background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Is the whole person encased in this or what? That's weird. So trippy.
You can see a face there.
Definitely. Yeah, that one is clearly a manifestation. He probably his lost wife or daughter or sister or something.
Yeah.
What's this girl doing? Making a spool of ectoplasma?
Yeah.
I'll take a spool.
You know.
But I guess this stuff kind of dissipates and actually ends up just turning into kind of like an oil or a water. That gal looked like it had a glove coming out of her.
Yeah.
That is trippy. Ectoplasma. And apparently there's a band by the name of Ectoplasma because I got a lot of that on my hits when I went to trying to research it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool name. I don't know who named their band Ectoplasma. That was pretty cool. There you go. There's a chunk of it.
Mm-hmm. You can say words or something.
Whoa. That was trippy. Truth Seeker says the Black Forest haunting shows something similar to this plasma or plasm, but it was an orb that had its own movement and was changing directions. I remember watching it years ago. Yeah, the whole orbs thing is trippy too. When I was in Avatar Energy Mastery Institute, they had a course on how to create these things, and there were some people that were really, really good at doing it. I tried it, and I did get to see a few, but it just wasn't my thing. I wasn't really into it all that much. However, I did catch one time in a a telekinesis demonstration video. It's still on my channel. It says orb in the title. I don't recall it. I haven't seen it for years, but I captured one in the background. And
Oh yeah,
they seem to come out. Sorry to interrupt you. They seem to come out when like high energy moments, be when people are scared or when people are extremely happy or really enjoying what they're doing or something. So I think it's kind of like a happy spirit thing, like a little bubble. I don't know. They could be bad news, but I've never heard anything bad about the orbs. That would definitely put that on our list. Bigfoot and orbs for the next weird world. We'll have to check into that.
yeah. Because I remember that video of you having that orb there.
Oh, do you? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we've been at this a long time, over a decade, Ricky. Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch some of those older ones.
The other thing about these videos is the people's faces too.
Yeah, yeah, trippy. I'm not sure what we're looking at in that screen there.
You know.
All right, is that about the end of? Yeah, that's about the end of that one. All right. So there was ectoplasma. If anybody has any comments on what the heck they think ectoplasma is, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think it is, Ricky?
I think it's maybe the physical body being affected by the spiritual presence, and like the body's reacting and like spitting up something. Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like the spirit world is just trying to get whatever it can get a hold of to manifest into something we can see.
Yeah.
Very trippy stuff.
And it's always coming out of the person's face and mouth, huh?
Yeah. Well, where else? Well, I guess it could come out one other couple other places. We wouldn't probably be seeing photographs of that. Maybe it does come out elsewhere. Who knows?
Yeah. You know.
Do you have anything to preface this video we're getting ready to watch by the Mad Cat? And do we need audio?
Yeah, you can have audio if you want to. I talk about what I'm doing a little bit here. I'm spinning a fork on top of a needle, and I'm controlling it left and right. All in one take. I'm doing it 2 times in a row, like all in one take. I do it, move it left and right twice.
Nice. Okay, I'll shut my pie hole and we'll turn the volume up and let's check it out.
Video describing what's going on with my microkinesis, how you can do it. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the fork, the front of the fork, the pointy part, away from me and toward you, the camera, the viewer. And I'm going to do this 2 times in a row, uncut. And this clip is going to be uncut. So as you can see, it's spinning away from me. I'm going to stop the back end of the fork, the butt end of the fork, and move it. See, I'm stopping the fork spinning, and I'm going to pull it and make it go toward you, the camera. So it's going to rotate back around toward the camera. The back end of the fork right now. I'm focusing on the fork. And what it is that you can see right there, it's turning right now. What it is that I'm utilizing intention and belief, past experiences, learning to have faith in what I'm doing, working on lighter objects like regular cycles. You can see right there, see already spun around all the way right there. I'm going to go back and spin the front part away from me again. My hands can be further up. You work with regular side wheels. It's a piece of foil with a needle and eraser, basically like this one, but just with a piece of non-heavy duty foil on top of it, folded. You work up close to understand the energy, the intimacy, and you gradually pull away. You let the natural energy of your finger attract the foil. And now right here, I'm gonna pull the back butt end of the fork away from me again toward the camera. And so what it is that you work up close, and every week you pull away 1 inch away. The first week you move 1 inch away. The second week you move 1 inch away. But let the energy attract the foil around in a circle. That lets you understand your subconscious mind understanding the subtle energies to learn comprehension. So then you can move on to forks. The sidewells first, inverted sidewell second, and forks is third.
Very cool, brother.
Yeah. But I say that it's magno, but it's probably more of like just really heavy duty chi energy work, you know?
Well, yeah, and it's a lot of that's, like I said many times before, how we communicate with our subconscious mind. So everyone kind of comes up with their own way of doing things. That's why there's really no right or wrong way. If it's moving, you're doing it right. That's what I always look at it. But I noticed you were kind of focusing on, do you feel like you're stronger with your pull than your push, or is it about even, or what do you think?
I think that I'm stronger with my pull, I think.
Me
Yeah.
too. Yep. I know some people that are better at pushing, but I've always been better at pulling.
And didn't you say too that the left hand is to take or give? What was it? The left hand?
Yeah, the right's for giving and the left is for receiving. That's
And
just kind of some old wisdom. I don't know that there's any truth to that because I can pull with my right and pull with my left.
mhm.
But I think there's definitely going to be a natural order to things. I think maybe the right is more for pushing and the left is more for pulling. Why? What were you going to say about that?
Yeah, because whenever I do the live streams or whenever I practice with the inverted side wheel or the fork, like my left hand always it seems to work more easier with the left than the right. Like I pull better with the left than I do with the right. The right is difficult. It's kind of weird.
You know what you need? You need an eggly wheel
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it gives you quantified feedback of which hand is stronger than the other.
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil it, but I originally started out, I was a little stronger with my right than left, but with some work, you can even it out. But
Mhm.
it's very cool. And I think, I don't know. Should I share a little portion of that video? You guys want to see a little bit of my Eggly wheel demonstration? I think I'll
Yeah.
show it just because maybe some people don't even know what an Eggly wheel looks like. Let me see if I can find that for you.
Yeah,
We'll
you can
share
give like
that real quick.
like a brief introduction or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And my first video is not going to be like telling you all about it and how it works and all that. It's just
Mhm.
basically me opening up the darn thing and trying it out and then treating it like a target for about a week. Okay, I'll give you the first few minutes of this video. Hello and welcome. This is Trebor7, and this will be the Eggly Wheel Review Part 1. Emphasize the Part 1. Basically, I'm just unboxing it. I'll do a little demo, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. So I've been doing telekinesis for over a decade now, and bless their heart, this company has contacted me, gosh, I don't know how many times, asking me to try out their product and maybe promote and sell it. I wasn't really into the making money part of any of this, and I finally broke down and just said, hey, what the heck, if you'll send me one with no strings attached, if I try it out and like it, we'll talk. So here we go. This is the unboxing, and as you can see, it comes in a really nice box, and it's got a nice little pamphlet, like 80 some odd pages in there with pictures and diagrams and instructions and all sorts of wonderful information, which I have not read yet, and a little chart that kind of tells you what the numbers mean, but basically has a scale from 1 to 24, and it lights up and or beeps, kind of show you how fast it's going. And there's what she looks like, nice and sleek. It's well made. And I'm just going to approach this, like I said, like a telekinesis practitioner would. I'm just approaching this like a side wheel. I did read the bold print instructions. It said to take the lid off, turn it on, cup your hand around the wheel, put your fingers together and concentrate, that's not really my approach to telekinesis. But that's kind of what I did here this first time around. And as you can see, not too bad. Right off the get-go, I was impressed with how balanced and sensitive the wheel is. A really, really good design. Not a lot of wobbling like you get from a handmade side wheel, obviously. And there you go. That's pretty decent. I got up to 10 with my left hand right out of the box. Meaning, no meditation, no breathing exercises, no energy work, just the basic energy emitted from my hand midday. There you go, 11 on the right, slightly stronger on the right. Anyway, I messed with that for a few more minutes and shut her down and went about my day. And there you go. I don't want to spoil it all because that's going to be my next upload. But
Yeah. That's a cool, man. That's a cool little device though.
It is. It's like the Cadillac of side wheels.
Yeah.
It definitely is. And I'll break
Yeah.
it down a lot better. And it's like a 11-minute video, so there'll be lots of footage. I'll give away a little prize here if anyone can guess in the chat as we're live right now. If you can guess how high could I get that thing to spin? It goes from 0 to 24. If you guess exactly correct, I will send you a free bottle of whatever it is you want from sacredsupplements.com, as long as it's a product I make. There's one product on there I do not make, so I can't send you one of those. But if you want some Ormus or Colloidal Silver, Isby thinks I maxed out at 24. Truth Seeker says 22. Anybody else want to throw some guesses in there? A scale of 1 to 24, how fast can Trebor spin the Iggly wheel? Donut says 5. I already went to 11 in the demonstration.
Yeah, but it's
Max of 24, and we have True Seeker guess 22. Okay. I guess, there's Man of Matter, thanks 12. Oh, hey, Man of Matter. I saw a video. Gosh darn it. I wish I'd have saved, maybe I did save that link. I'm going to go look for it right now. And I think you'd be interested in seeing her. More than likely, you probably are. Ah, shoot, I didn't save it. I'll find it for next month's subscriber upload. But I got one just for you, Man of Matter. I'm going to play for you. Anna K says 15, the big 1-5er. That's a pretty good guess.
that's good.
Man of Matter smiling. He probably already knows the video I'm talking about, but I will find it again because I thought of you as soon as I saw it. I thought, oh man, this is right down his alley. This is something he should be doing. Go ahead.
And it looked like when you use your right hand that it sped up faster, huh? The light.
Yeah, I think my right's a little bit stronger, and that could be the right hemisphere of the brain's a little more developed than the left. I don't know. I'm aiming for balance, but we'll see what the book says. I know there's, like I said, 80 some pages of information, so there's bound to be some really good insight in there. And I may find out that I'm doing it entirely wrong, because I was kind of using like I said, I was just treating it like a side wheel, and I would use like some pumping motion, and maybe you're just supposed to be rigid and hold your hand completely still. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to do it, but I know it is very cool, and I'm glad they sent it to me. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit longer. Then I'm gonna jump back into remote viewing because I was starting to have some success there. And but it's neat to have different things to try out and keep it interesting for you. And I think that the people who created this thing, they've been perfecting this since like the 90s or something. So there's a lot of R&D that went into that Iggly wheel. So it'll be pretty cool.
But
go ahead.
But it's kind of too bad that it's kind of expensive, huh? Because I was thinking about getting something like that, but it's kind of expensive.
You know what? If somebody gave me, I think they're a little over $200. But you know what? If somebody gave me $200 and said, "Hey, make the best side wheel you can make," I couldn't come up with something better. For $200, but I could not create that for $200.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how you look at it. It looks like it's something that could be used. It says vitality meter right on it. So I think it's really for, checking the vitality of your body. So it'd be great for someone who was just thinking about getting into, getting into yoga or getting into something, taking Ormus or doing something where you could check your vitality prior to starting, and then, check it afterwards when you start using that stuff. And you'd have some, quantifiable feedback right then and there and say, hey, is this stuff really working or not? Be some good feedback. And you could tell, maybe you could predict when you're about to get sick or something. Oh, my life force energy is getting low. Maybe I should, do some fasting or take some vitamins or more Ormus or, maybe you could use it in that manner, not just for testing your PK skills, but I think it may have other uses. I'll know a lot more after I read the pamphlet that came with it. Like I said, 80 some pages. There's bound to be some darn good info in there.
Oh yeah.
But that's what's coming up on my channel. The Iggly wheel will probably be the last upload of this year. Can you believe it? 2022 is already over. We're heading into 23.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah.
And I may still put together, I usually like around January 1st, I usually put a little compilation video together. I may do one of those too. And I'm going to get back into the TK, but let me have a little break here. Let me work on this remote viewing, see if I can learn a little something about that. And I think my subconscious mind was just starting to get the hang of it. Like I said, I'm starting to get a few. It's not like I don't have anything I'd want to show anybody yet, but I've had a few things that like, oh, that must be what that is. And that might be, so, just kind of in that beginning stage where I don't have any.
For learning.
Yeah. And when I get some good ones, I'll save my little, I can't draw very good, but I'll save my little sketch pad and maybe I'll try to show you in a live stream. I don't know if it'll be a public live stream or a members live stream, but one way or another, I'll share a little bit of that. And like I said, if I have any insight, I'm always happy to share that, because learning psychic abilities is what this channel is all about.
Yeah.
And having said that, looks like we're wrapping up to about an hour. Let me check the comments one more time, see if anybody has anything. Man of Matter says the left palm is where the heart is. That is where the chord and the card word is. Check online. Hand reflexology. Ah, very good.
That's probably why.
Wherever heart is where, in my opinion, is strongest pull. Yeah, I think the heart definitely has a lot to do with it. Very good. All right.
True.
Nice interaction from the chat. I appreciate you guys watching and participating. And, whoa, do we have somebody backstage here? What's going on? No, that's just me. All right. I thought, oh, wait, we had somebody waiting to come on here. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this month. And if I don't see you between now and then, happy holidays. And I hope you have a great new year. And I wish you all the best. Ricky, any final words?
No, just happy holidays and for everybody to take care.
All right. With that being said, we'll see you all in the next live stream. Peace out.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Take care, Trevor.
See ya.